Willie Pickton was born on October 24, 1949, to parents Helen and Leonard Pickton. He is the second oldest of the 3 children his parents had. His oldest sister was sent to live with his relatives in Vancouver, as their parents felt farm life was not a good place to raise a young girl. Robert and younger brother David started work around the farm at a very young age. The boys were often sent to school in unwashed, dirty clothing reeking of manure, and earning the brothers nicknames such as Stinky Piggy and Smelly Willy. Robert struggled to keep up in school, and so was placed in a special class after failing 2nd grade. He would eventually drop out of school in 1963 and begin working at a local butcher's as a meat cutter. He would do this job for 7 years before leaving to work full-time at the family farm after the death of his parents. Their siblings inherited the pig farm, but the siblings were not as keen to keep it running like Robert was. In 1994 and 1995, they sell off quite a bit of the land and make $5.5 million from doing so. They would use the land to host raves and parties, which became known as the Piggy Palace. Thousands of people would show up for these parties, and neighbours would complain over the noise and huge crowds that were using drugs and prostitution. In 1997, Robert Pickton is arrested and charged with attempted murder of a prostitute, Wendy Lynn, whom he had several times during an altercation at the farm. She had informed the police that Pickton had handcuffed her, but she had escaped with visible lacerations. However, this case would get thrown out due to the victim's drug addiction issues, and she had failed to attend court. In 1992, David Pickton was also convicted of sexual assault with the victim, also managing to escape. He would be handed a fine of $1,000 and 30 days probation. This was not the last of their troubles. The non-profit charity they had set up and enjoyed raves and parties with, the Piggy Palace Good Times Society, was closed down in 1998. On February 6, 2002, police executed a search warrant for illegal firearms at the Pickton property. Both Pickton brothers were arrested. Items found during this search included personal items belonging to a missing woman in their database. Whilst both brothers were released, police kept a very close eye on Robert until his arrest for murder was made on February 22, 2002. The search of the Pickton farm lasted almost 2 years, and it became the site of the largest crime scene in Canada's history. Investigators found the remains or DNA of 33 women at the pig farm, and evidence included personal belongings, body parts, bones, and DNA samples. Police in the area had been accused of failing to pay enough attention to the number of women who went missing, with families suggesting police ignored vulnerable victims. Pickton was given a new nickname, the Pig Farmer Killer, as they would claim he had disposed of human remains by feeding them to his pigs or putting them in the meat grinder. But even more disturbing, health officials were forced to make a public statement, warning human remains may have been mixed up in the meat coming from the Pickton farm. While being held in prison, Pickton confessed to the brutal reality of his crimes. He told the undercover police officer that he had taken the lives of 49 women, and he had wanted to make it 50.
I thought the best way if I could dispose of something was so I could take it in the ocean. Oh, really? Oh, fuck. You know what fucking ocean is it? Ain't much left. Deeper than that. Who? Deep? No. No shit. That's gotta be fucking pretty good. Okay? Mm-hmm. Really? See? Fucking God, you fucking ridiculous. You gotta be fucking.
I was under, I was like 29.
That's fucking pretty good there. That's fucking pretty good. I think you're doing something right. Fucking beautiful. You gotta fucking,
But the problem, they got bigger renovated.
doesn't make sense. No shit, eh? Well, they got fucking prints, you know? They got no prints.
Fucking tripping with everything.
No. They didn't do you. Don't fucking say anything. I can let things slide.
They said we're not going to teach forward. You won't even get bail.
Like I said, that's fucking up to the judge, right? You know?
The cops are real upset.
No shit.
They don't know what to say.
They what?
They don't know what to say.
You fucking give it a quick push.
Yeah.
But it's not like it's fucking worth it. You know? I can, make things disappear.
I was going to do one more. Maybe even 50. That's what I was slapping people for.
Yeah.
I'm going to do one more. Make a big bad hole.
Make the big 5 cent.
The trial in 2007 would become a media circus, given the crimes that had been committed. He pleaded not guilty, and evidence found at the farm was finally disclosed to the public. Robert Pickton was convicted for the murders of Marnie, Mona, Andrea, Serena, Brenda, and Georgina. He was sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole for 25 years. There were attempts to charge him with the deaths of another 20 women, but the charges were stayed by the Crown as he was already serving the maximum possible sentence. These gruesome details, in addition to the number of women believed to have been killed, makes Pickton one of Canada's most well-known and prolific serial killers. If you enjoyed this video, please take the time to like and subscribe. Thank you.